Watch out, this podcast may contain adult content. We're brought to you today by Altered Reality Entertainment, the creators of Empire State Comic-Con. Check it out at escomiccon.com. And now, on to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Case, an investigative television podcast where Casey and me are breaking down all the characters ahead of the final season of Game of Thrones. My name's Elijah. You can call me Eli. Casey, who are we talking about today?
Today's a big one, guys. We're talking about the Night King.
Oh my gosh.
The leader
King
of the White
Night.
Walkers. Oh my god.
It's Night, right? He's the Night King, the King of Night, right? Not Knights King, like...
Yeah, no
These are knights.
He is not anointed at all.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. I hate him.
Well, we don't know he's a piece of shit.
Well,
Look.
from what I've seen, he's rough.
Look, here's the thing. Maybe what he's doing is what's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I like that he's Thanos in that way, you know? That, like,
okay.
maybe half the population in the galaxy should be what we have.
That's
Maybe.
That's fine, but he doesn't want half. He wants everyone
To be zombies.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then they'll have the hive mind thing and
Okay,
follow
all
his
right,
lead and all
Give
that.
me an overview. Give me a recap of our good friend, the Night
So
King.
there's a lot of mystery around the Night King. We can't say definitively who he is, what his name is, what house he comes from. All we know is that he was pierced through the chest with dragon glass by the Children of the Forest back in the days when they were warring against the First Men as sort of a nuclear bomb effect where they were trying to create a weapon that could help them turn the tide against the First Men. Little did they know they would never be able to control it. His powers grew way beyond, and from what we've heard from history, him and the rest of the White Walkers were not quite defeated, but just pushed back into the lands of Always Winter before the wall was built.
Yeah.
That's where he's been this whole time, gaining his power back, building his army.
Collecting
and
Craster babies.
Craster babies. Yeah, Craster, like, I feel like those are like the generals of his army because he's created them from birth. With the thumb on the cheek thing like we saw in episode 4 of season 4.
And that's a really interesting part of this is that, like, in the books, there's way less detail about who he is and what's going on with him. And even if that's going to be the thing that is the crux of the show, or of the series for Song of Ice and Fire, but for real in the show, it's just like, hey guys, look at him kidnapping this baby and then also taking it to this, like, beautiful, like frozen castle almost, like in the lands of Always
Winter.
Yeah, and then he just like puts him on an altar. He's like, and now you're a White Walker, and like it was cool to see that transformation.
Yeah, which is interesting because like that means that they technically can grow to be like adult size. I guess there's a lot of things we don't know for sure.
Like,
in fact,
can they
the
die
Night
from
King-
aging?
Yeah, like the Night King hasn't really been in the books. The Night's King, which was a different character that's not in the show, but he was like this Lord Commander that basically fell in love with a White Walker back in the day. But it's all myth and legend. He was like the 50th or the 100th or something like that.
Yeah, this is all. Yeah.
But it was like, that's not in the show. So the Night King is only in the show so far. And he, as far as we know, has created every White Walker and white that exists.
So
by proxy, at least.
Yeah.
His White Walkers can create whites, but they can't create White Walkers. He's the only one we've seen that can do that.
Yes, and so this is really interesting because, like, do we think when he's not, like, going to places, raising his arms, being a badass, or, like, assaulting places with his White Walker dudes, that he's just, like, at home raising, like, the 5-year-old White Walkers into, like, or because, you know, it's like that kind of, like, mind control thing where it seems as though they're all psychically linked or, like, they have some kind of, like...
Yeah, the whites are. I don't think the White Walkers are.
Okay,
They're their own
so
entities.
here's the thing that the show's kind of set up, and I know we're kind of jumping around a bit, but the show's set up that if you kill the White Walker that turned the whites explode.
Yeah, they
and
die.
you would think if you kill the Night King, he's the one that turned all the White Walkers into White Walkers.
That's
so
the theory that Barrack came up with when they were trapped on the island. And it makes sense. It's kind of like, because when they move with a hive mind mentality, meaning that one person is dictating the movement of the entire army, with the exception of like the White Walker generals who fight their own fights, and they're more skilled
so
warriors.
Do you think that the White Walker generals are actually their own people, or do you think they're all a part of the hive mind of the Night King?
No, I think they're their own people because he changes them differently. He doesn't just raise them from corpses.
Yeah,
they're changed while they're alive.
Physically touches them,
which means that if he changed the dragon like that by touching it, not by just raising his arms and being around it, then it's technically a White Walker dragon.
Consciousness versus being a zombie dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Also, their magic is very powerful, so I think that it's almost like harder for him to turn something like that. So he had to give it its own consciousness. He couldn't just raise it like a dummy that'll just like move in whatever direction he tells it to go. And because like the whites don't fight in a sophisticated way, but the White Walkers do. So like they're more of a challenge to take down, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what he does when he's not raising them, but it's interesting because his powers come from the same source, kind of, that Bran's does, because of the connection with the Children of the Forest. So he can also warg. He's basically
he must
warging.
Be a green seer. Yeah, he's like ghost riding all these dead peeps.
He's warging like thousands of people at a time. They're
once.
just dead people. And I think what's going to end up happening with Bran is that he's going to have to be able to like mirror that on the light side. And we've seen like Beric and Jon get brought back from the dead, but with their consciousness on the light side as like fire whites. And George R. R. Martin himself said that they're fire whites. So I think in the end game, it's going to have to be like who can raise them faster as either servants of good or servants of bad.
Okay.
And that'll be really interesting to see. Because Bran has to have something up his sleeve.
All right, so when we last saw the Night King,
yes,
he was destroying Eastwatch.
Yeah.
Easily. With
Undead Viserion.
A White Walker dragon.
Yep.
Shooting blue flames at that mountain.
Yeah. We were all wondering, does it shoot ice? Does it shoot fire?
Yeah.
Blue fire. Okay, cool. Just even more powerful.
Blue fire's hotter
as
than...
if he needed more ammo on his side, but Jesus. Crazy. I can't believe that that's the way the wall came down. You know, everyone had like theories about like the horn, you know, that was supposed to be blown that would, you know, basically make it collapse, that would like disintegrate the magic inside of it.
Everyone who was like, "Oh, they're gonna bring the horns," in, I was like, "No, they're not, guys. They're not gonna have this thing they haven't telegraphed for multiple seasons. Be like, and then there was a magical horn that he blew. Yeah. Like that was the least HBO thing I could ever think of.
Well, they showed a horn when they found the dragon glass at the Fist of the First Man in season 2.
True.
But like they haven't talked about it since, so that's why I knew it wasn't gonna come into play. Just like with Euron, he's supposed to have a horn that he found in Old Valyria, that
dragon binder,
that makes the dragons bend to his will. But I'm like, that's very Skyrim, and he doesn't deserve that. So it's got to be like a MacGuffin, basically.
And they did a solid, like, that was, even though I'm like upset with how the whole like scene plays out, the logic of like them going north of the wall to get one, like, I don't know, I don't really love that episode.
TV, that's for sure.
But the result is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, that had to happen for us to get here, and I'm fine with it.
And that's interesting, too, because a lot of people were like, well, if that's the only way past the wall, then was he just waiting to bait Daenerys' dragon up?
Yeah, because he has to be a green seer, right, too?
Yeah.
Or would you say that he's a warg or he's a green seer like Bran?
I don't know if he can see, but he can he basically attacked Bran while he was in a vision. So I think his powers are similar to Bran, just older, he's better at using them, and they have a few other things he can do that Bran either can't do or doesn't know he can do.
Yeah, because Bran has specifically has he been attacked by the Night King through time travel visions, or has it only been like
current time?
Okay, yeah, because I remember when he was like looking through the ravens at the Night King, and then like the Night King turns, because he can like probably sense a warg watching him, but I don't think that he can sense the sense that the like time travel, not necessarily time travel, but the being able to see past, future, and like, I don't think he can feel him through time.
Into the past.
Yeah,
no, I think the only reason he was able to like mark him or whatever was because he was looking at the Night King right now.
Yeah,
in the same place he had looked at in the past recently, because it was like they saw where the Night King was made, that giant tree. Yeah. He goes back to that tree, but he doesn't go back there.
In the past, he goes in
now. Yeah, that's how he was able to do it.
Yeah,
but I don't know, because like I think the Night King and him can both warg things, so I think like it's gonna be interesting. Like, what if Bran tries to warg the dragon
Night King, or the Night King,
and like they're it's a battle of consciousnesses, like inside of some sort of powerful entity.
If the solution to this is Bran just having a brain battle with.
Well, I mean, we've seen things like, I mean, not that it's a great movie,
they're
but
just, like flying around like superheroes inside of like some mindscape.
It could be like the Harry Voldemort fight where they're like flying around, or it could be like Xavier versus Apocalypse when they're like in the mind, you know, and like they're changing forms and like the rules of reality don't really matter. It could be something interesting.
Please don't do that. Please don't.
I don't think that'll go that way. No.
Okay, let's talk about the top moments and worst moments for the Night King. Let's start with top, because I don't think we've seen his worst moment yet, because he's really been racking up a lot of wins, like all the W's. He's
undefeated.
It's really nice. He's going into the tournament, pristine record, 1 seed. It's real nice.
No marks on his armor.
Yeah. But here, like, it's got to be the hand raise like meme moment, right? It's got to be the like, come at me, bro.
Okay, like, are we approaching the best moment as like we're rooting for the Night King, or just coolest for the show?
I don't know. Like, how do you define it? What do you think?
Because the raise changed the rules. because he can do it in real time, which means as fast as your men are dying, as you're fighting him, he is gaining an army.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you defeat that? That changed the way we saw this threat as like, oh, well, this shouldn't be too bad. If you have more men and you have some dragon glass and some fire, you should be able to win, right? And we all assumed that the dragons would just destroy them, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the top moment to really show how powerful he is when he javelins that fucking dragon. As heartbreaking as that was, it showed that the one thing we thought this whole time that we've been building to for seasons that would be like, the
equalizer.
The equalizer. Yeah, like the thing that would turn the tide.
NOS.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that we could finally use to take him down. He goes, "Oh, you got one of those? I'll take one, thanks." Boom, just javelins. It rips our freaking heart out, and then turns it.
So you're saying his top moment is when he got the gold medal in the javelin toss?
Yes, yeah. I think that broke my heart more because he changed the rules with the arm raise, but like it's still you could still win if you were just careful.
Yeah,
and
that moment's brutal too because like when it pierces through the front and the back, the flames coming out like.
Oh yeah, well it's like there's like gas. In him, and it shot out his chest.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh my god! And then he just crashes into the lake, and it's just unceremoniously the way he dies. Like he lets out this horrible cry. The other dragons cry. He hits the ice. He just sinks down. And it's like our hopes and prayers are sinking with him.
No, I gotta say, where was Rhaegal in all of this, man?
He was flying around too. They were both flying circles around roasting. Yeah. And then Drogon was sitting there, and like, oh, it almost made me like hate Jon for a second because I was like, he was trying to like.
That was Jon's fault. That was Jon's fault.
I was like, get on the fucking dragon.
That was Jon's fault.
Like hit one dude behind you, and you should have room to get on the dragon.
Yeah.
You can swing while you're sitting on the saddle.
Jon's dumb.
Yeah,
that was Jon's fault.
He was just trying so hard.
That was a Star-Lord Thanos moment. That was
exactly what I was thinking. Is I was like, did he think he was going to do something? Like, what do you think you're going to do? Go fight through 1,000 wipes to get to the Night King there?
And beat him and win the thing? Like, no. Yeah. No. It was.
And you could tell it on his face because when he sees the dragon fall, he looks at Daenerys. He looks down at the ground and then he just starts swinging like a madman. Like he just lost one of his kids or something. Like he's like pure blood crazy mode. Like I don't know, but that was I think the biggest win for the Night King because. Without it, how do you get south of the wall?
You're saying obtaining the dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
The overall effect.
Best moment for me is the hand raise come at me, bro. Because like that was the first time where that threat felt as real as it was. Because like we've always kind of known that it was the end game for the show. Like that was the final boss.
Yeah.
But like that was Hardhome is I think probably the best episode of the show. And
it's
like
terrible.
and for me that's like the like oh no this is like they're all just knights playing with swords over a crown. None of that shit matters.
Yeah.
What matters is the Night King. And like that's when I was like, I feel like the show really pivots from that point, and it's just like the stakes are just way different after that.
Yeah, that's a crazy scene too.
That was an incredible episode.
The way the mist comes in, the way they're running against the wall, and then you hear just silence from the other side of the wall, and then you know what he's doing is raising all those people that were banging. They're like, "Let us through!" And now they're all dead, and they're coming through now. And then you get that great moment where Jon kills a White Walker with Valyrian steel for the first time, and we go, "Oh shit!" Valyrian steel has magic, which I mean, anyone with half a brain would have inferred that because there's a reason to keep bringing it up. But like, that was crazy watching him kill.
And then the other White Walkers realizing that he can kill them.
That was the Night King too. That's like the first time we see him in battle, and he looks down, and he goes, "Oh fuck that, dude! I'm coming down there." And then he takes care of business and lets Jon Snow know you can swing that sword around all day, but there's one of you, and look how many motherfuckers I just got.
Dude, my guy 1-1 running with them and like swinging
into the ocean.
Gosh, so good.
That was crazy too because you saw that they couldn't cross water necessarily, and some people thought that the way they were going to cross because when the Howland had the vision of Eastwatch, they thought, oh well, Eastwatch is by the sea. Mm-hmm. What if he gets close enough to freeze the ocean
water and they can
just walk around it? That would have been cool too, but
and it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I feel like water is their.
Yeah, I think they're landlocked to some degree, but except for Homeboy's got a dragon. So if Euron thinks he's just going to go chill on Pike and eat berries until it's over, he's going to get roasted just like they did at Harrenhal back in the day, thinking they're safe in their big old.
That's all you want to see. You just like. You want to just see a scene of Pike getting roasted by the ice dragon?
Yeah. I just want to see Euron sitting with his feet up next to a fire thinking he's all safe. And he looks outside and the Night King's just like staring at him and the dragon just goes, woof. And he's like, motherfuck. and it's just like done.
Cut to black.
Yeah.
End of the series. Gotcha.
It's gotta be like Nick Fury at the end of like the post-credit scene of Infinity War. He's like, motherfuck.
Yeah.
Roast.
Gotcha. Roach it.
That'd be beautiful.
Okay. Worst moment for Night King? I don't think we've seen it yet because he hasn't had any.
Being created,
Yeah,
probably because
it
as
was
a
against
human,
his
he
will.
was
Yeah,
terrified.
he's like tied up, his mouth, and they forced it.
He was
on him.
scared as shit, and I'd love to see what he blonde. People like don't have to think he's a Stark, but he has blonde hair in the cutback.
Yeah.
So either they're gonna retcon that, or he's a Targaryen, maybe.
Or he's a Lannister.
Maybe
I'm just kidding.
Lannisters wouldn't send their men to the wall. Well, I guess there wasn't a wall. That was so far back then.
Were there even Lannisters back then?
Well, not really.
House Lann?
No, because those are Andals. The
Yeah.
Andals were the tall blonde people that came after the first men, and they were warring with the first men at the time.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't make sense. It would have to be someone of the blood of the first men.
Yeah.
And the only house they can say that is the Starks.
Starks, yeah. Okay. Maybe the Karstarks.
Yeah, the only off-breed, offshoot of the
that.
Northmen, yeah.
Okay, so I don't think we've seen the Night King's worst moment yet.
He hasn't had a loss, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't had those. But let's transition then into what is his ultimate sad ending?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, does he have feelings? Like,
Okay,
I don't know.
because we're gonna get into the happy and sad ending. But yeah, you're right. Does he feel emotion in that way? But I guess the question we have to ask kind of ties into the next category too. Like,
Sure.
we think that for the show to move forward or for there to be resolution, this dude has to die, right?
Yeah, because you can't just put him behind the wall again, because the resources you used to build it in the first place aren't there now.
Yeah, and you can't, like, there's not like a Naruto, the villain understands where the heroes are coming from and he empathizes moment and he's just like, oh, I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to do that. You're right.
I mean, the truth is we don't know his purpose yet either. Like, is he trying to kill all men, or does he want something? Does he want like a Night's Queen?
Yeah, because we don't really know what his...
Does he want like... Is he a Stark? Does he want to be back in Winterfell? Is there something in the crypts that's hiding that is an undead?
Yeah, like what? Yeah, so we don't. I guess we can't really know what his happy ending is because we don't know what his motivation is.
We can only guess.
We can infer that it'd be revenge against the Children of the Forest.
Yeah, he definitely hates
for
them.
turning him into what he is.
Yeah,
and then he realizes maybe it's just conquering. Maybe it is just that. Maybe he, like you said, he's a long lost Targaryen, and Targaryens have conquering in them. Maybe that's just the thing.
Or he's just been created for one purpose, which is to destroy all men, and that's what he wants to do, and he won't be happy till he does that.
Yeah, so the magic they put on him is just to destroy men.
Yeah, or for a world of always winter instead of just a land of always winter.
Converting everything in ice.
Yeah, he rules over everything.
Okay, so then his happy ending is that he would convert Westeros into a land of snow?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd find his own little Elsa to settle down with and just be really happy, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think conquering everyone and having himself be unopposed by all.
We've seen that Sansa can adapt. I think that Sansa would be a great Night's Queen.
She's been through enough. We're not marrying her off to the Night King. Oh
sure?
My God.
You sure?
Getting just popsicle fucked for the rest of her life.
Wow.
You gotta imagine his dick is really cold, so. Right?
Incredible. Sad ending for the Night King.
Do you think he can raise that with his hands too?
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Okay, it's enough dick jokes.
Wow.
This is a serious show, you guys.
What's the sad ending for him, right? It's just Valyrian's sword through him, right?
I think he doesn't get past Winterfell.
You don't think he gets south of Winterfell?
I think he dies without anyone understanding what he really wanted or something.
Oh,
something like that, and then maybe like Jon figures it out, but then he dies without being able to tell anybody. So they were just like, then in the history books, they'll just be like known as these savages, but maybe they have their own language. When they say in the books that like they speak, it sounds like ice scraping against each other. And you kind of see that at the end of the second season when Sam's there and the guy looks at him and then he like goes, ah, like he like has that weird shriek, and then they all start marching forward. So like they have some sort of like personality to them or some sort of code of ethics or whatever. I think it'd be sad if we never understood what they wanted or what their purpose was, or maybe he had moved beyond the purpose he was born for. And he wanted something else. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Okay, so next question. Will he live or will he die?
He has to die. I think he has to die because as long as he's around, this can just happen again. And I think everyone alive knows that. Yeah. I don't know why he didn't die in the first place when the first Azor Ahai rose.
And did all this stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Maybe he can't.
Okay, so I kind of want to turn this question because I think we both kind of feel like he has to die. Just for, because like the hero has to win, you have to beat the bad guy kind of thing. I think it'd be a really interesting thing if they could find a way, like if the Red Woman like makes him not a White Walker anymore. Like if there's a spell she can cast on him and he loses and he just becomes an old dude, or something like that. That'd be really cool. But instead of will he die? Because I think we're both like pretty locked in that he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Who's gonna kill him?
Okay. That depends, because I have a few ways of because the thing is, if he didn't die before, there's got to be like a trick to killing him.
No, I think he can get
I don't know,
Dragon Glassed or Valyrian Sworded.
Or or Dragon Fire maybe, or something. It has to be something special. Or maybe some people have said what if you have to take the Dragon Glass out of his chest?
Oh,
something like that. That's kind of cool. Or if water is their thing that they're screwed up, what if somehow they knock him off his dragon and he just sinks to the bottom of the ocean.
Jon Snow's just squirt guns, water. Should we?
That sounds weak sauce.
Okay, no. Okay, so of the characters that are alive in the show,
yeah,
if you had to pick one person that's gonna be the person to swing the Valyrian sword or stab him with the dragon glass, who would you say?
It's got to be Jon Snow.
Okay.
Jon Snow 1v1. I hope
Single
they're both
combat.
riding dragons at that point. Rhaegal is because it's named after Rhaegar's dad.
Yeah, his dad.
They've got to be riding dragons, and either both the dragons die or somehow they just get knocked off, and it's like a ring of fire. Neither of them can escape, and they're just 1v1. Ice sword versus Valyrian steel. Who's got the juice? Let's go. That's got to be the ultimate moment in this season. When
you need that
good finally defeats evil.
I think that moment will happen. I think you're going to get that, but I do not think Jon Snow is the person who kills him.
Who do you think?
Arya.
That'd be awesome.
It's not for me in my head. It's not close. I'm it has to be her because of so a lot of the times Jon. I don't think Jon is a good fighter. Actually, yes, he's a good fighter objectively, but every time he's beat a major person, it hasn't been really him. Ygritte helps him kill that Thenn. Carl Tanner from Jin Alley, whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of the Craster's Keep chicks that stabs him. Almost every time that he's come up against a major one-on-one, I need to beat this person, the dude has lost because of his honorable fighting way. And maybe he's learning in that, but he doesn't I don't know. I think that it might be a Jon about to get killed by him, and then Arya just needles him or something. Or
I think that Arya is going to get an amazing kill, but I think it's going to be Cersei.
Yeah.
I think because the Valonqar isn't gender specific, it has to be a younger sibling. That she's been on her list since season 2.
Yeah.
Since Ned was in the stockades or was about to get beheaded or whatever. And so I think she'll kill. I think what would be really interesting if she was wearing Jaime's face and then killed her. So we get both of them. This moment where she feels betrayed by Jaime, and then as she dies, she goes, also, bitch, I'm actually Arya. And no, beat it. You never found me.
That's the new tell Cersei it was me.
because honestly, if there's a moment that was built to, it's that. And if there's a moment that's built to for the Night King, it's the come at me, bro moment that you love so much. That's him looking at Jon Snow and saying, I get that you're a contender.
Yeah,
I want you, bro.
That's
come
those two. That's those two. That's Magic Bird. That's saying, let's go.
They're across the court.
This.
They're it's you and me. Everyone else is just a fucking voyeur at this point. They're just gonna watch this. I
love it. Okay. All right. Last thing for this one. Azor Ahai. Is the Night King Azor Ahai?
I gotta say no because of the whole. Born from salt and smoke with the flaming sword doesn't really fit the Night King. But he is, I think he is the anti-Azor Ahai. He's whatever Azor Ahai is for the dark side, he's that.
Okay, well, the most opposite you can get of the letter A is the letter Z, so he's Zazor Ahai.
Yeah, Zazor Ahai.
Zazor Ahai.
I don't even know how you do that. But yeah, something like that. If Jon Snow's like Luke, then he's Vader. He can't be the golden boy of the good side because he is the dark side.
When you said if Jon Snow's Luke Skywalker, then the Night King's Vader, I was just like, oh my god, the Night King is Jon's dad.
What? He's the Mad King reborn?
What?
No, he's not. No, that's Rhaegar. Rhaegar's dad.
Are there any other theories that you have with the Night King? Any other things that you want to see or think that might happen?
I want to see a lot of things happen. I want to see him roll through the Umbers and the Karstarks and get to Winterfell, and then I want to see the biggest battle we've ever fucking seen. And I want to see him die. I want to see that dragon die. I want to see him get humbled in some sort of way where he looks around and goes, oh shit. Because he's never, like you said, we've gone over this, he's never had a loss. Mm-hmm. He's never looked vulnerable. He's never once showed emotion. I want him to show emotion.
Yeah, we've never seen
before the end.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And I'd love to know what he really wants.
Yeah.
Whether it's a personal thing, a revenge thing, if he wants to die, you know, but he has to, like, there's only one way he can die. Maybe there's, like, something south of the wall, like a place he's supposed to die, like the Isle of Faces or Winterfell or something like that. And he knows he can't die until he gets there. Like, maybe he's seen the future. Maybe he has visions, like, maybe because Bran's seen the future or Jojen's seen the future. Maybe he knows something we don't know. And I want to see his end just be epic.
You want to see what that is?
Yeah.
Find out that
I want to know more, too. Don't you want to know what house he comes from?
Yeah.
Like, why he was defeated in the first place, what he's been doing for 5,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how he knew the dragons would come and what his plans would be to get south the wall if they weren't there. Like, I want to know a lot. I'm sure we won't know 80% of that, but if I can get that nice, juicy nugget about who he really is right before he dies or after he dies, I'll be really satisfied.
Well, thank you. I mean, I want those things too. That you wrapped it up. I have nothing else to add. Yeah, that was delightful. I would love to see that. No, so I think next time
you get nothing. That's what Game of Thrones says. You will die knowing nothing.
No fanfare. Yeah. Okay. So next episode we're gonna do Podrick Payne. Podrick of House Payne.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm into that. As always, this show's brought to you by Altered Reality Entertainment. They have a show called Epic Comic Con. That's a comic convention where there's celebrities, there's vendors, there's cosplayers, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's happening in Atlantic City, New York. Sorry, not Atlantic City, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Yeah. Jersey.
Jersey.
Let's get our gambling on, guys.
Yeah, and it's at the Showboat Hotel and Casino. So you can check that out. EpicComicCon.com. Celebrities, vendors, artists, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. So we will see you again soon. Thank you for listening to On the Case with Casey and Eli.
See you guys next time.
Bye.